Alright, what's up guys? If you guys can hear me and if everything's okay with the picture, the quality, just type it in the chat. I'm watching the preview and it's looking really bad, like the quality is it's looking really bad. So if you guys can see the chart probably with all it should be like 1080p. The preview is not looking like 1080p, so I don't know. Alright, so if you guys can hear me or see me or whatever, please type something in the chat. I'm just gonna do a quick overview of Bitcoin today. I'm gonna take a look at BTC USD, and first I want to take a look at the high time frames, like always, like the monthly and the weekly, and then drill down into the daily and the 4 hour and maybe the 1 hour. I'm taking a look at mainly the Bitstamp chart here, so BTC USD on Bitstamp, and why I like to use this chart is mainly because it has the most price data, and you can see, you know, more data on the higher, like you can see more data and more information from the moving averages on the higher time frames. Like this one, for example, you have a lot of information for you even have the 99 EMA on the monthly here. So like on Bybit, you look at the monthly, yeah, it's not really a lot of price data. So I like to, especially on the higher time frames, I like to look at Bitstamp, right? And on Bybit, that's where I do most of my lever trading. I do some FTX too, which is a really cool exchange. But right now I'm using mostly Bybit. And all right, so let's just take a look at BTC here on first the monthly without any indicators or levels or anything drawn on the chart other than the moving averages. All right, so the monthly is well, I don't really know how the monthly looks, to be honest. The monthly isn't really giving me much information right here. I guess, yeah, right now I'm not really interested in the monthly. Like without adding any horizontal here, you can clearly see this area here, the 9.2k area, and why it's such an important area. You have the close here, right, and the open here, and you have this close and open here, and these two here. So obviously this area here is definitely an area to watch at 9.2. So let's see if I actually have anything marked out at the 9.2 area. Yes, and the 9.2 is right here. Funnily enough, I don't really have anything marked out at that level, but I'm seeing that the 21 EMA might come in right there. All right, so we have the 21 EMA right on 9,205. So that's some good confluence with the 21 EMA and an obvious support and resistance area right here, right? If you look at the monthly here, yeah, I'm liking this area right here. So if we break this area right here to the upside, I do expect a move up to 9.1 to 9.2. I'm gonna use this candle close right here as the bottom of my resistance zone. I like how it lines up with this wick down here too. So I'm gonna use that one, something like this, and the top is probably gonna be somewhere up in this region, because you can see quite clearly here the price action right here, right? You have these wicks down here right into what was support at that area. We then came down and bounced off the bottom of that support area, and that took us up, right? So this is this area is previous resistance. We broke previous support, sorry, and we broke support to the downside, and we haven't really tested. Well, we haven't tested it at all. Let's see in the 4 hour. Have we tested in the 4 hour? Well, we did get a we did get a touch, but not really clean, because this whole touch happened inside this SR zone, right? So I'm gonna go with the daily here and say we have not tested this area yet after breaking it to the downside. So obviously next time we come up to this area, that's gonna be the first retest. So if we break this area to the upside, I'm gonna expect a move like this, right? Break up, come down and retest, and target this area up here. And now this area right here is going to be confluent with the range on the 4 hour I got marked out on this buy bid chart right here. As you can see, I am actually short right now. The problem with this short is the fact that I made my plan to short BTC USD before I painted this 4 hour range down here, right here. So this 4 hour range is telling me I shouldn't be, you know, swing long or swing short unless we break this area to the downside or break this area to the upside. Now notice how the high of this range is about 8950. The top of this support is around the same area, right? 8917 I got it at, but it's right in the same area. So if we break this range to the upside, I do anticipate a move up to the next resistance above, like I showed you before. And if we break this area, this range to the downside, I do expect a move down to first we got this area down here at around, I'd say between 8.2 and 8.3, but ultimately I think we're gonna test the RLC here. Let me show you the RLC on this chart right here. So here's the bigger picture. This is a much cleaner chart on Bitstamp, where I've showed you the long RLC and the short RLC, and this is the long RLC of this move here. So to me it looks like if we're gonna break this range here, I think we're gonna come down and test this liquidity down here, and it kind of fits well with the midpoint of the RLC. So I do expect a move down to down inside the RLC for about let's say 10 to 15% move down into the RLC if we break this 4 hour range to the downside. Now we have support in the middle, like in the way, right? We first have let's say 8.250, so 8,250 is going to be like the first major support, and if we lose that one, the next minor support is going to be 8,000, and you know, 8k being around the number is probably gonna act as a pretty strong support. But ultimately I think we're gonna test the midpoint of the RLC. Could just be, you know, daily wick or something like that, but I think we're gonna see price trade down here if we break this range to the downside. And another thing I want to show you guys on this 4 hour range is the fact that we have the daily EMA, no, the daily 200 SMA right here. So the daily 200 SMA is confluent with range EQ. Now let's look at the weekly. We have the weekly 21 EMA also right at range EQ. So there's a lot of things being confluent with this range EQ, and that's what why I think if and when we break this range to the downside or upside, so basically when we break this range, I think we're gonna see a pretty powerful move, right? Because when you have a lot of confluence with the range EQ, and range EQ basically means the middle of the range. It's the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level of this range. It's the, pretty much just the exact middle of the range. And when you have very strong confluence with the EQ, like we have now with the yellow 21 EMA on the weekly and the 200 SMA on the daily, that type of confluence with the EQ kind of gives me a good indication of this, the whole range being pretty strong. Because if the EQ is strong, then that adds to the likelihood of the whole range being, well respected by Bitcoin's price action. And as you can see here, if you zoom into the 1 hour, I mean, price has pretty much reacted perfectly to this range, right? We swept the high, we came down and tested the lows, swept the low to come up and test the high, and we are now breaking EQ to the downside. I do expect a move like this, right? We break range EQ to the downside, come up and retest it, probably get rejected for a move down to range low. And if you look at the 1 hour, actually let's look at the 4 hour. No, the 1 hour is better. So if you look at the 1 hour here, we've tested range low 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd say 6, and the next test is going to be the 7th test of range low. And judging by this price action right here, it kind of looks like we're going to break it to the downside. So if we break range low to the downside, I would expect it to break, right? But the thing is, I'm in a short right now, so I'm pretty much biased to the short side, obviously. Being in a position, it kind of clouds your judgment, and if you're in a bearish position, you want to be a bear, right? But as a trader, it's really important to as a trader, you have to plan for every scenario right now. And my plan right now is to just let the trade play out here. If I get stopped out on this short and I noticed we have a bullish retest of range high, I will probably get long again to target I'd say what level was it? We marked it before. Yeah, so 9.2 on Bitstamp. Let's see what we got on Bybit. I would probably target, somewhere around 9,150 and 9,200 will probably start averaging out there on that long for a quick scalp, of course. So that's my plan for if I get stopped out. And if we break this range to the downside, my plan is to take profits early. Take profits if we start seeing 4 hour closes below range low, and then move my stop to entry. So basically, like take 50, let's say I take 25% off here, and I move my stop to entry to make it a free trade, basically. Because right now my feeling is I just want to get out of this trade, because we've been ranging here for way too long, and it kind of feels like my trade idea here is starting to get a little bit invalidated. So I want to get out of this trade as quickly as possible. So let me show you why I took the short and what I based that short on. So I entered, let's see, where's the weekly? Right here. So I think I entered here, I think. Pretty sure I entered here. And at that point we had the 21. We had the 21 EMA on the weekly up in. Oh man. The 21 EMA on the weekly we had up here in that region, and the 200 simple I think in the same area. So the idea was basically to. I wanted to short this move. We broke, like you can see here, we broke the 200 simple to the downside, and also being confident with the 21 EMA on the weekly. So the idea was pretty simple. Wait for a break of the 21 EMA on the weekly, confident with the 200 simple on the daily, and short the retest. What I didn't do was I didn't wait for a daily close below the 200 simple, which I should probably have done. And really, if I like, what I like to do is to base most of my trades on daily open and closes, especially the more swing trade-ish trades, right, where I stay in a position for maybe 2 days to a week or something like that. That's when I want to wait for a daily open and close below the level I'm watching as confirmation. So this setup is by no means a perfect setup, because we never got a daily open and close below the 200 simple without any wicks. So it needs to be a clean open and daily open and close below, right? So if this wick weren't here, that would have that would mean we had a daily open and close below, and that's when I would enter my short position. Obviously, this is, by looking at it from this perspective, right? I'm not really taking into consideration this range right here. So if you take this type of analysis I did right here, with the fact that we have the 4-hour range here, I would probably not have taken this short. I would instead wait for range low to break, to long a retest of range low, or wait for range high to break, to long a retest of range high. So that's my current views on Bitcoin on the lower time frames. Let's see actually if we can see anything interesting on the higher time frames, because I haven't really looked at Bitcoin on the higher time frames for quite a while. Right, so we had this massive move right here, this whole move right here. So this, I remember when we broke this area to the upside, the whole crypto sphere and everyone on Twitter started becoming very bullish, and me included, because what happened up here was we broke the 200 simple on the daily right here, and we just started trading upwards, and we actually also broke the weekly downtrend, because as you can see here we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower lows, and obviously a weekly downtrend, right? But here we started breaking the weekly downtrend by breaking this area and creating a higher high. If we create a lower low, a higher low here on the weekly, and then bounces up right here and creates a higher high, comes down and tests this area for a higher low, and continues like this for a nice W structure, sorry, that would be like super bullish. But that's obviously way far ahead, right? So personally I'm just taking it one level at a time. So right now Bitcoin is looking, I would say, pretty pretty bearish because we're below the 200 simple on the daily and below the 21 EMA on the weekly. So what I like to see for me to become a medium time frame or short time frame bullish on Bitcoin, we need to start trading above this area right here, being confident with the 21 EMA on the daily. Now let's look at the weekly, sorry, let's look at the daily. So we need to trade above this resistance right here. I would like to see a daily open and close above the 200 simple to long, potentially long a retest up to the 21 EMA in a daily. Confident with this resistance up here. So I'm just like, my trading style is this, I'm taking it one level at a time, right? I mean, looking at the higher time frames, it's not super bearish unless we like really break. Like if we break 8k to the downside, I'd start becoming more high time frame bearish. But we could still bounce here and create a lower low and continue on our weekly uptrend, right? So not super bearish, but still it's not looking very good. So to sum it all up, the bull case, we need to, like from current prices, the most bullish thing to see right here is close above this resistance right here for a move up to this resistance here. And if we close above that one, we're gonna trade up to this area, and that's when it starts getting interesting, right? Because that's when we most likely will continue this trend upwards. So let's see if we can find anything else interesting here. Let's look at the weekly. Let's remove everything. Yes, I'm not... Yeah, obviously we have the... You know what? We have the green 55 exponential on the weekly is right on around 8,200. So that's very interesting. Remember, 8,200 was this area here. So okay, so I'm seeing a lot of confidence in the 8,200 area. So like right now, just looking at this right here, it kind of looks like we are getting a bearish retest of the 221 EMA on the weekly, and we are most probably gonna come down and test this area down here, the green 55 exponential, just looking at the weekly. And if we break that one, we'll most likely go trade in the RLC, which is in the middle of the green 55 exponential and this blue 99 EMA. And if the 99 EMA comes up to this area right here, that's obviously gonna add a lot of confidence to the midpoint of the RLC. So like my feeling, and nobody should ever trade their feelings, right? But my feeling right now is more bearish short term than bullish, obviously, because we are below the 200 simple and we are below the 200 simple on the daily and below the 21 EMA on the weekly. So right now I'm kind of leaning more bearish. My camera just shut off, and I don't know what that happens. Why that happens? It happens all the time. All right, so I'm just gonna. It feels like I'm just rambling right now, but like hopefully you get the whole idea, right? Looking at the weekly from a moving averages perspective, and the fact that we have the RLC about 15% below, like it's no more than 10% really. So it's only 10% below current price. We have the moving averages are looking pretty bearish. We have the RLC below the current price. Looks like it's, you know, acting like a magnet and kind of wants to act like a magnet. So it would make sense to come down and test this area. Let's look at the daily. Well, if we close this daily below the 200 simple, it's not looking very good. I mean, you had this nice move right here, right? We bounced right on this support area right here, came up and closed the daily above the 200 simple. Looked pretty good, right? If we can close this daily candle above the 200 simple, we have an open and close above the 200 simple, so that would be bullish. So if, as long as we stay above the 200 simple, that would obviously be bullish, right? And if that happens, I expect a move up to the 21 EMA, and that's going to be our next major resistance, and that's going to be the area to break. Very important to break that area if we're going to continue to be bullish, right? If we just start trading below the 200 SMA like we are doing right now, we have the 200 EMA right here. Right now I don't really put a lot of weight on the 200 EMA. I mean, obviously price has reacted to it pretty nicely, but I'm on Bitcoin right now on the daily. I'm watching the 200 simple instead of the 200 EMA. I like the 200 simple more, to be honest. So I'm just gonna, well, I'm not gonna remove it, obviously. I can't ignore it because I gotta watch it. And all right, so Bitcoin is looking very indecisive, and as you might have noticed from my voice and how I'm doing my analysis, I'm not really 100% sure on direction right now. What I do know, I don't know anything, obviously, but what I do think, again, what I think doesn't matter at all. You shouldn't trade what I'm thinking or what I think will happen. You should only trade what's actually happening. So this range, very important. It feels like I'm just pretty much repeating what I've, like, the same stuff all over again, but I'm just wanna be, I wanna be as clear as possible here. Whichever way we break this range, we're most probably gonna see a powerful move. I'm thinking if we come down to range low, we might break it. I'm thinking it's pretty probable we'll actually break it and we'll see a move down to the RLC. I would love to be a buyer down here. I think buying this area here down at the RLC, like if you look at the traditional markets right now with the whole coronavirus bullshit and all that, I think if the financial markets really dump right now, Bitcoin will dump with it. I mean, people are talking about this, you know, about Bitcoin being a hedge against the financial crisis or whatever. That's like probably not true, right? That's, if you look at the correlation between the traditional market and Bitcoin, it's obviously not really the best hedge, right? So if the traditional markets are gonna dump, Bitcoin is gonna dump with it. And it kind of looks like it's not looking strong. I mean, the traditional markets are not really looking super healthy, and we still have the corona panic virus bullshit. Everyone's panicking, and yeah, so I'd love to be a buyer down here. It could take a couple of weeks, but a week or two, maybe like in a week or two, maybe the coronavirus hype in the media has maybe died out, and that would be a perfect scenario to buy. Obviously, as you can hear, I'm not really the macroeconomics guy, and not really a specialist when it comes to FA analysis. I'm a trader, right? And I'm a short-term to mid-term trader, so I'm only gonna trade what I'm seeing and not what I think will happen. But with that said, I'm a little bit more bearish than bullish. And another thing I wanted to show you that I totally forgot is the fact that let's look at 4 hour here. We have a double top here, right? So this is obviously a very important area to break. We have a bearish market structure on the 4 hour here with a high, lower high. I would say that this is probably a lower high too. Yeah, so we got the low, lower low, and lower low. But this is when it starts getting interesting, right? What's up, Kong? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, I'm on this fucking, you know, I'm on this diet where I'm drinking pretty much only juice, which is pretty fucking stupid because I'm been doing this for 2 days and I feel like a fucking idiot. I can't think, I can't speak. I'm just feeling super tired, but the book told me that I was going to feel super healthy in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be all right. It's my girlfriend that made me do this stupid shit, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. All right, so yeah, so 8.2, absolutely. I think 8.2. Yeah, I believe you. It's perfect diet. I feel like a fucking king. All right, so 8.2. Right, so yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for the whatever it's called. You see, I'm losing words. I can't speak. It's this diet is making me basically a retard. So yeah, so 8.2. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good confidence in the 8.2. It's right in the middle of this green box right here. I'm not sure what this green box actually is, but I've got it on the chart, and I remember I've thought it was pretty important when I marked it out, and 8.2 is right in the middle of that chart, and the green 55 exponential on the weekly is at pretty much at 8.2. So yeah, 8.2 is very likely, very very likely. Yeah, thank you for the moral support, Kong. Thank you. I should probably start the camera. And now I'm moving the what diet? I don't know what diet. It's basically I'm just on liquids, which is pretty weird. Basically, it's just a very low calorie diet. So the first week I'm doing like super low calorie. Monday was like 500 calories, and today is 1,300, and it's all about all juices. And after that, I'm gonna start eating some food. Hopefully, should be eating some food, but it's basically just a low calorie diet. My aim is to I'm gonna lose 10 kilos, I think. Right, so this stream has been way longer than I expected, but yeah, let's look at inverted hand and shoulders. I like that, hand and shoulders. Yeah, let's look at 4 hour. Yeah, I kind of like that. Look at the weekly. So sometimes when I'm short, I'm gonna invert the chart, and I'm gonna ask myself, would you long this? And I would actually. I think if you make this green and you look at this area as support, I mean, to me personally, on the weekly, I mean, yeah, absolutely, I would long this. So that makes me feel better being short, because if you're gonna long the inverted chart, you're probably gonna short the normal one, obviously. So let's look at the daily. Yeah, it's looking all right. So as long as we stay below this area, and I'm pretty sure that's my range high, and that's where I have my stop loss on Bybit. And it's the same idea here, right? Well, not really looking that good on the 4 hour, but I mean, the idea is pretty simple, right? Break the 200 simple to the upside and long a retest. So yeah, I'm still liking this idea. I obviously I liked it more when I was in profit, but and you know what? On Bybit, the 200 EMA is being respected very, very good here. So I need to really, because if you look at on Bitstamp here, where was I? On the 4 hour? No, on the daily. So on Bitstamp, the 200 EMA on the daily is not looking as good as the 200 EMA on Bybit. So I'm gonna have to watch the 200 EMA on Bybit, but I can't really focus on the 200 EMA on Bitstamp. I'm not really seeing the type of reaction I'm seeing. Let's look at BitMEX. What are we seeing on BitMEX? The daily. Where's all the moving averages? All right, so here we go. Yeah, so not really seeing, like on Bybit we have, if this were on Bitstamp, we would have the 200 EMA right here. So you can see why I'm liking the 200 EMA on Bybit, right? And I'm mostly trading on Bybit, so I've got to go after the, like I gotta look at the moving averages and like on the exchange I'm actually trading on. But like I like to look at Bitcoin on at least like the Bybit. I want to look at Bitstamp, BitMEX, because BitMEX has, you know, the volume and all of the liquidity, and like most of the people trade on BitMEX, right? So we will see some, like it's important to you know, take note on the price action on BitMEX. And then with all, like with all three shorts, I try to, you know, get a feel for the, like the average idea. Like it might sound stupid or whatever, but I want to see like as much of price action, like Bitcoin price action, as I can see, right? So I like the fact that the 200 EMA is actually confluent with range low here. So that's obviously gonna add some confluent to range low. The 200 simple adds confluent to range EQ. And the 21 EMA daily on the weekly too. Right, so what I'm doing now is just overthinking this. I'm doing way too much analysis on Bitcoin right now. I'm in a short. I have my stop placed right up here, probably too close to range high. I don't know, but I've got my position size all calculated. I'm actually in a little bit of profit here, or right on my entry, so I could, if I wanted to, reduce my position and adjust my stop loss based on this range right here, right? But I actually did enter this idea based on the moving averages and not on the range. So you can't really, like for me, I can have one setup. This setup is based on moving averages, and then right in the middle of the trade, I found the range, and I can't really let that range idea affect my moving averages idea and setup too much. So that's what I'm afraid I'm doing right now. I'm kind of overthinking this idea, and I'm trying to apply this range idea to my moving averages setup, and it's not really a good idea because I need I'm journaling everything in Edgewonk, right? So I need exact and perfect statistics on all my setups. So if I get stopped out, I will trade the new setup as a probably a range breakout setup. But obviously I'm gonna add moving averages as confluence to that setup by taking profits at all right, so I got a question from my private student on if I have any thoughts on like the global pandemic being the coronavirus and how it will affect equities and if Bitcoin will follow. All right, so first of all, I just want to say I'm not really a macroeconomics guy. I'm more focused on 100% trading and medium to short time frame trading, right? But I can say this, that like I think media has really hyped Corona, right? It's media loves to scare people, and this is really like a big thing. We could go into all the conspiracy theories about this being planned move to take down the economy, and like I think obviously the financial markets right now is really getting affected by the coronavirus or the corona hype. Is if one it's probably mostly hype. Like I don't know, man, but it's probably a lot of hype, and I can't really comment on what will happen, right? But what I can say, if the traditional markets go down, I'm pretty sure Bitcoin will go down with it. Now there's this meme on Twitter or whatever where everyone's talking about Bitcoin being a hedge, right? A hedge, now my girlfriend's telling me I gotta drink my last drink. God damn it. I'm sick of all these fucking juices. Right, so where were I? Oh god, I should probably disable Messenger for Windows. Where's the fuck is Messenger? Right, so I'm tired of this shit. Alright, so the financial markets. I can't tell you if the financial markets are gonna tank or not, but what I can tell you is Bitcoin is correlated with the financial markets, with the traditional markets. As Bitcoin is correlated to the financial markets 100%. If the financial markets go down, like Bitcoin is not gonna act as a hedge. That's a fantasy, and that's not gonna be, probable for like say the next 5 to 10 years. Like it's not like how many of your colleagues or your friends who's not into crypto, how many of those are telling you like, oh fuck, like the S&P 500 is going down, let's buy Bitcoin, right? Let's buy Bitcoin. Let's just sell our stocks and go into Bitcoin. Like nobody's saying that, right? It's only people inside the crypto sphere that's actually talking about Bitcoin being used as a hedge, and that fact is kind of like against the whole narrative of Bitcoin being a hedge. And obviously, look at the price action of S&P 500 or the SPY or whatever, and compare it to Bitcoin. Obviously, when the financial markets are gonna crash, like make no mistakes about it, you would not want to be heavily invested in Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin will recover like quicker or something like that, and maybe like Bitcoin, I think if we get a financial like how should I put this, if we get a new if we get a new financial crisis like in 2008. So remember, Bitcoin was born in the last financial crisis, right? The last financial crisis, Bitcoin was born. So if we get a new financial crisis, Bitcoin has already been born and it's already been established pretty much. So this time, I really think we're going, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a financial crisis pretty soon, in a couple of years. If it's not coronavirus, it's just gonna be some other bullshit. Like it's really time to crash the markets, right? And when that happens, we already have Bitcoin. We already have the Bitcoin narrative. We already have like crypto being established and blockchain being a respectable technology. And that's when I think Bitcoin is gonna start acting as a hedge. Maybe like the third cycle, because the financial markets goes in cycle, right? We go into like the we crash and burn, and then we, you know, inflated with all this whatever. And like the third time we're gonna crash, I think Bitcoin might actually act as a hedge, and I'm talking like 10 to 20 years in the future, because we might see a financial crash like once every 10 years or 15 years or something like that. And when we had, like, I think this financial crisis, Bitcoin is not going to act as a hedge, but the third one, maybe, very probable, I think, very probable, because in 10 years, Bitcoin is going to be huge, like the orange man says. All right, so I'm very tired, and it feels like I'm just rambling. Let's just quickly look at Bitcoin on the lower time frames. All right, so we broke range EQ to the downside. I expect to move down into range low, and if we break range low, 8,200. We reclaim range high, range EQ, move to range high, we break that one, we move to 9,200. So yeah, 8.2 or 9.2, that's my next target for a breakdown or a breakout. All right, guys, I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I should probably have to plan my streams a little bit better, because I feel like I don't really have a plan, right? I don't really have, like, I should have a list of things I want to talk about, right? Okay, so have a great Tuesday, and see you guys on my next stream, hopefully. Take care, guys.